Staff nurse adds them to the local patient monitoring system, and that system starts pushing out data on a regular basis. Here we've got a 10-minute interval immediately. The first part of the HypoNet program is called Clinical API, and that interprets the demographic data from every patient that comes into the ICU. That then gets fed up to the web pages that were developed by Paul at C3, and the research nurse for Avert IT can then select from that list and say, we want to add this patient, that patient, whatever. Once that patient has been added to the Avert IT study, that's a signal for the second part of the HypoNet project application called Clinical Client, which interprets all the episodic and physiological data coming out of the DocView system or whatever patient monitoring system we're using. That then gets standardized and put into the Avert IT database, and that's what we're aiming at. At every local site, we want a standard database, a standard description of all the data coming out of the ICU. Based on that, Rob and Tim's Hypopredict work can start happening over to the right here, and that makes calculations and predictions based on what it finds coming out of the ICU. And then the final part of the HypoNet project application is called Avert IT Fetch. It's called the 6-hour push here, it's now the 2-hour push, and every 2 hours we send the data from that database up to Nest so that Ian and Rob and others can analyze the data that is in that central database using the Amulet program from C3. That's basically it. That's one site. If you imagine this as 1/6 of a hub and spoke model, there are 5 other sites that do the same sort of thing.